Mr. Munford,
Here.
Ms. Price,
Yes.
Chair Davenport.
Barely here. Before we begin our meeting tonight, our counselor, Mr. Hoy Hodges, need to swear in our new member, Danny. Danny, don't think I'm against you. It's just I like John so well.
Danny, you'll get that same reaction 40 years. You stand, please, sir. I swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully execute, to the best of your ability, the office as a member of the Board of Adjustments, according to law, and you do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, you, being a citizen of this Commonwealth, have not fought a duel with a deadly weapon within this Commonwealth, nor out of it, nor have you sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have you acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offended, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you, Danny. Welcome to the board.
Thank
Hope
you.
you enjoy yourself. Unless there's changes or additions or corrections to last month's minutes, a motion to accept, please.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Lockwood and second by Ms. Price.
Mr. Lockwood,
Yes.
Mr. Munford,
Yes.
Ms. Price,
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson,
Yes.
Mr. Howell,
Yes.
Chair Davenport.
Yes. The next thing on our agenda is election of officers, but we're going to bury all that burden of watching that fight of politicians up here. So we're going to move that to the end of our agenda so you don't have to go through that. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, you ladies, sorry. Our first request tonight, Chopper Park Apartments LLC, care of Jody Allen, have filed an application requesting a 24-foot variance from the required 25-foot front building setback along East 12th Avenue, a 20-foot variance from the required 25-foot front building setback along Kentucky Street, and a 5-foot variance from the 5 side yard setback along the southwest property line in order to construct a multifamily residential development on the property at 135 East 12th Avenue. Now, this property is zoned RM, multifamily residential.
I will be doing the status report, but before we get started, I think we all need to be sworn in.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, I'm sorry.
before it's
You know, you,
I would ask that
I
all
forgot.
matters be made a part of the record.
Yeah.
The joint zoning ordinance of Ward County, the comprehensive plan, the staff report, any exhibits which may be attached to the staff report should also be made a part of the record. I'd also ask that Rachel Hurt, Kenny Willoughby, Amy Scott be sworn in, and that their qualifications as zoning administrators be recognized, and that their testimony be accepted as expert testimony this afternoon.
y'all sort of tell the truth?
Yes.
Sorry, I got off track here a little bit, excuse me. Wait a minute, but now we're going to let Mr. Hodges explain what they have to do to get their condition approved or denied. Mr. Hodges.
Okay, the first application we have tonight is one for a variance. All the other applications are for conditional use permits. And there's certain findings that the board must make with respect to the variance. Those are set forth in KRS 100.243. The board must find that the requested variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, that it will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, that it will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, that it will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the other zoning regulations. All the other matters tonight are applications for conditional use permits, and those findings are set forth in section 3.9.5 of the zoning ordinance. The board must find that the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it is proposed, that the use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services, that the use will not constitute a nuisance, and that it adequately addresses the review criteria of section 3.9.4 of the zoning ordinance, and finally, that the use otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance. And in that regard, each one of these applications contain specific use standards that would have to be addressed. Now, I mentioned the review criteria in section 3.9.4. I cannot emphasize that strongly enough because that section states that the applicant must adequately address the review criteria as it may apply to the requested conditional use. One criterion is compatibility. So when you're presenting your application, remember you must adequately address compatibility. That's the threshold question for this board. If anyone's dissatisfied by the results rendered here tonight, you have 30 days to file an appeal. That would go directly to Warren Circuit Court. You would need an affirmative vote of the majority, of those present. A pass vote would have no force or effect. Mr. Chairman, I believe that wraps it up.
Thank you. Now, Rachel, we can go with Topper Park Apartments.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Sir. We had a pre-application meeting back in February for the property located at the corner of East 12th and Kentucky Street. You can see the current zoning is RM4, which is multifamily residential, and the current land use is multifamily. The property, if you drove by, you probably noticed it's currently under construction, and I'll touch on why in just a minute. Here are some property photos. And we'll leave up the variance exhibit as I go through the staff report. I'm actually going to just touch on the staff review summary on page 2, just to kind of give you some background on this property. The applicants did receive approval of a building permit for the development that is currently underway. It was not realized that the building is in the required setbacks until the applicants inquired with staff about a plat consolidation for the existing lots. And so in order to remedy this issue, the applicants are requesting variances from the front yard setback along both East 12th Avenue and Kentucky Street. And the applicants are also requesting a variance from the required side yard setback along the southwest property line. On page 1, we have our zoning ordinance reference, which outlines the property development standards in the RM4 zone, which typically requires a 25-foot front yard setback. And the first variance is a variance of 24 feet from the required 25-foot front yard setback along East 12th Avenue, and then another variance of 20 feet from the required 25-foot front yard setback along Kentucky Street. And then the third variance requested is a variance of 5 feet from the required 5-foot side yard setback. You'll see the variance findings on page 1 for your reference, and then on page 2 in the italicized text, you'll see that the applicants did supply a narrative to support those findings. That's there for your reference. And with that, we just had one point to consider on page 1, and that is that the variance request will not alter the character of the area, as this property is located downtown in an urban setting which incorporates existing multifamily structures with reduced setbacks. That is all for the staff report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Normally, they're supposed to get the approval before they start the construction, aren't they?
Well, they did receive a building permit, so they did receive approval to begin construction. So it was an oversight.
On y'all's part,
on
not the applicant's part?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Any questions of the staff from the board? Any questions of the staff? Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
Is the
you.
applicant here? There you go, Jody. That's fine. Any opposition to this request? Seeing none, a motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the request for variances docket number 2025-V-13, a variance of 24 feet from the required 25-foot front yard setback along East 12th Avenue, a variance of 20 feet from the required 25-foot front yard setback along Kentucky Street, a variance of 5 feet from the required 5-foot side yard setback. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that the granting of this variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations.
It's a proper motion.
Motion? Second by Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport.
Yes. Aren't you glad you don't have to tear that down and move it back 20 foot? Thank you, Jody. Jody used to be on this board some time ago, best I recall. Good to see you.
Glad to see you're still here.
All right, good to see you, Jody. Our next request tonight, Daniel Birkenhauer, applicant and owner, and Aaron Birkenhauer, owner, have filed an application requesting a conditional use permit for home occupation. More specifically, for a customization business for items such as golf clubs, keepsakes, and non-operating firearms at the properties located at 11636 and 11642 Woodburn Allen Springs Road. Now, these properties are zoned AG agricultural. Rachel.
Thank you again, Chair Davenport. We had a pre-application meeting back in June for the properties you just referenced on Woodburn Allen Springs Road. This is the current aerial view of the property. And then, as you mentioned, the properties are zoned agriculture. And in the very back of the property, you can see a portion is also located within the floodplain. The current land use is agriculture and single family. And then we have some property photos that we can flip through and come back to as needed. And then this is the site plan that was supplied by the applicant, and I'll just leave that up as we go through the staff report. As you mentioned, the applicants are requesting a conditional use permit in order to operate a home occupation. And as a part of that request, the applicants have supplied 6 conditions, which I'll touch on in just a minute. But first, I will note that Article 5, Section 5.1, the use table, requires a conditional use permit to operate a home occupation on property zoned agriculture. You do have the conditional use permit findings for your reference included within your staff report. Those are on page 3. And then looking back at the conditions on page 2, there are 6. The first is that if the property is ever sold, the CUP will be null and void. Number 2, days and hours of operation will be Friday and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and by appointment only. 3, there will be no more than 2 client vehicles permitted on the property at a time. 4, there will be no office space available for the employee associated with the customization business. 5, the maximum number of employees associated with the customization business will not exceed 1. And 6, all parking will be away from public view and in designated areas as depicted on the site plan. Looking back on page 1, just looking at a couple of points for your consideration. The first is that the board should consider if the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area and the existing adjacent properties. And second, the board should consider if the proposed use will result in increased traffic congestion or constitute a nuisance in the area. That is all for the staff report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
The board have any questions of the staff? Is the applicant here? We might have just a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. He can come with you if he wants to. Would you give us your full name and address?
Daniel Birkenhauer. It's 11642 Woodburn Allen Springs Road.
Do you swear to tell the truth, sir?
I swear to tell the
Thank
truth,
you.
sir.
Just for clarification, will the entrance be where the blacktop driveway
No,
is?
that is actually 11636, so it's another parcel that I do own, but it will be the gravel driveway next to it.
Okay. And the buildings that you're going to do this work in, is it at the end of that driveway way back?
Correct.
So
Yes,
the
it's
house is
behind-
still, the house is not going to change on that side of it?
No, sir.
Okay, so I'll make that right. And nothing, when you say firearms, not firearms that are operational, just,
No, sir. It's just basically to paint and engrave.
okay, very good. Does the board have any question of the applicant? Any question of the applicant? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any opposition to this request? Any opposition? Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit docket number 2025-C-29 for a home occupation with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which they are proposed. The use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services. The use will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance. That the use otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance.
All right, motion by Ms. Atkinson. Second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Price.
Ms. Atkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson,
Yes.
Mr. Howell,
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood,
Yes.
Mr. Munford,
Yes.
Ms. Price,
Yes.
Chair Davenport.
Yes. Your request's been approved, sir. Thank you very much, and good luck to you there. Our next request tonight, Brad and Tiffany Kirk have filed an application requesting a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental on the property located at 912 Avery Court. This property is zoned RM2, two-family residential. Yes, ma'am?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting for the property on Avery Court on June 11th of this year. Current zoning is RM2. Current land use is single-family residential. And then here are some images of the property, and then their site plan, which is also available for you in your packet. They are requesting a CUP to operate a short-term rental, and the zoning ordinance reference, Article 5, Section 5.1 of the use table, a CUP is required to operate a short-term rental on property zoned RM2. Specific use standards for a short-term rental are on the bottom of page 1, and then looking over to the top of page 2 with their proposed conditions. Number 1 is a maximum of 2 rooms for rent. Number 2, rooms will not be individually rented. Number 3, maximum of 3 guest vehicles in the designated parking area. Number 4, quiet hours will be from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Number 5, there will be no signage on the property. And then number 6, if the property is ever sold or the applicant ceases the use, the CUP will be null and void. The conditional use permit findings, the review criteria is on the middle of page 2, and so we'll look back to page 1. There are just a couple of points to consider. The board should consider the impact on permanent workforce housing availability in this part of the city if the existing single-family residence is converted into a short-term rental. And then the board should also consider if the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area, including the existing single-family residential uses located adjacent to the property and in the general vicinity. And that's all that I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the staff of the board? Any questions? Okay. Is the applicant here?
I've got a question.
Oh, yeah.
As far as in that vicinity, do we have any Airbnbs now in that vicinity?
When you say in the vicinity, I do think we have, yeah,
14th Street. Yeah,
14th and Foster Alley is what Amy just said.
that's the closest one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Applicant here? Would you step up, please?
That's another side of my pass.
We need to swear you in and ask you a few questions, perhaps. Your full name and address?
Brad Kirk, 912 Avery Court.
Do you swear to tell the truth, sir?
Yes.
So you live in this place, in this
No,
house?
sir. That is the address here.
Now, where
Ours
do
is
you-
8722 Stewart Farm.
Okay. Bowling Green?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, you're trying to put a business in a single-family neighborhood. How do you think that open up a mini hotel is in character with the rest of that existing neighborhood, especially the houses behind you and on Magnolia and Covington and those various areas?
We're not that far over. We're this side. But ours is actually a cul-de-sac. And I think it's 9 properties in our cul-de-sac. And out of the 9, they're already multifamily. Or six of them are multifamily homes, so they're duplexes already. We are going to do the quiet time a little earlier than what is required. We are going to fence in the backyard where there's privacy, and I don't see any nuisance in the area.
We have denied a couple of applications on Magnolia and Nutwood, and obviously you know that the way Nutwood and Magnolia is from Broadway, there's commercialization and creeping up towards Capitol Drive all the time. And are you concerned that if we approve this, that we're going to be opening up Capitol Drive and that's around, what's the street behind you, Temple? What's the?
Liberty,
Oh, you mean,
Liberty.
The street right behind your.
Liberty, Liberty Way.
Yeah, it's single-family residential.
Well,
and, you know,
300
put a mini
yards from
hotels
us.
in there.
300 yards from us is a commercial that had been approved. And also,
What's
it's Cameron Imagery.
oh, the photography studio?
Yes.
That's been there a long
Yes, sir.
time. Long
And
time.
maybe a block or so away. I've been there 20 years in the area. I own the building on the corner of Cabell and the Bypass. So I really love the neighborhood. I wouldn't bring anything that was gonna be detrimental on the neighborhood. I really appreciate the neighborhood. I just bought another home on Liberty Way today. It's not gonna be an Airbnb, it's gonna be a rental only. But I don't know, for us, it's not
Well,
gonna.
we thought this one being a smaller home, just with the 2 bedrooms, and that it would be ideal for the Airbnb. We don't feel like there's gonna be more traffic due to that than if we were renting it to individuals, because we're not renting out per room, we're just renting the house out with just the 2 bedrooms. So it's never gonna have more people there than what would be allowed there, you know, outside of, if it was rented, you know, we wouldn't have the control so much as to if they had several kids or, you know, piled more into the bedrooms and things like that. Where with the Airbnb, we're gonna have control over, you know, who we can rent it to and what their intentions are and how many people, you know, would be coming and going and stuff from the area. We're putting a lot of work into the house. We want it to be very nice and we want it to keep, you know, stay that way. So-
When you mentioned parking, you requested for 3 cars in the driveway, but you're only going to have 2 rooms. I noticed in the picture that we had in our packet here that there were 3 cars there and 2 of them parked in the street.
They must not have been ours.
Well,
But no, it's where they took the picture of the house. The driveway had 1 car and 1 in the street, and there was a trailer in the front yard.
There was a dumpster, because we was already gutting the house.
Okay.
So somebody just pulled up, but
the
don't,
RV in the driveway
no,
there.
it wasn't. Oh, that was the old, yeah.
That just hadn't been moved yet from the previous owners that's in that picture still.
Would you have any problem limiting that to 2 cars to the 3? Because that driveway is pretty short for 2 cars.
No,
No,
we would not.
okay, no, that's fine. It actually, I don't know if you've noticed on the length of it, it's been extended. So we were only gonna allow 3, but 4 could fit that driveway. Because they had the RV, they extended the drive just a hair. But we're only gonna we're gonna take away the extra area.
But the situation of that is, if you get 4 cars in there, you got people backing out in the street. Even though it is a cul-de-sac, you
Yes,
still have people
yes,
backing
no,
out in the street. Yeah.
I mean, if needed to be 2, that would be perfectly fine.
All right. All right, any other questions from the applicant or the board?
I think the applicant should understand the view of the board. You know, we want you to have all the property rights that are due you. We're concerned about turning Bowling Green, Warren County into a short-term rental community. If we grant you this tonight, it will be taking a long-term rental away from some family. And in that area is all basically, you know, 30 days or more. So that's kind of a concern of ours.
There are cities all across this country now that have made huge mistakes in granting too many short-term rentals. Spain just canceled 64,000 short-term rentals because they ran out of housing for the people that live there. Louisville and Lexington have put moratoriums on short-term rentals because it's overtaken neighborhoods. And Nashville, you've probably seen different things, what goes on in Nashville, the huge parties, the shootings, the neighborhoods are totally destroyed because of short-term rentals. And I know that's not your intention, but it's something that we have to be concerned about.
We're just gonna have a lot, I don't know if a lot of the other, we're gonna have a lot of rules to ours, and we're leaning more towards Western sporting events.
Sure.
Is what our main goal was
But our
for,
big
because there's not a lot of areas for them to stay that's very close except one hotel, and I think Western's got it.
But as Mr. Ferguson pointed out, our big concern is, once we open up that avenue, we can't stop it. That's our biggest concern. All right.
You know, we kind of came to this conclusion, like we've stayed at several Airbnbs for different things all over the place and all, and some of them have been so very nice and quaint, quiet little areas, and it's like exactly what you want, you know, sometimes if you're not wanting the whole hotel atmosphere and stuff. So you know, that's what we're trying to provide and want to give to people, but like he said, we are going to be very picky on, you know, who we would allow and not allow, our rules, regulations on things, because we do want to keep it nice and quiet in the area. We're not trying to change that by any means. We don't want that either.
Well, you've got a great location and a great investment, and I hope the best for you, whatever you do.
Thank you.
There are currently 4 houses for sale on Nutwood, very close to where you live. And I'm not, who knows who's going to buy them. A lot of these properties are now being bought by out-of-town investors, and they do it because they see, we can put a short-term rental in here. And that's very close to where you all are. It's just
The only difference is we're about the only cul-de-sac, if you're saying getting approval and traffic, we're about the only cul-de-sac in the vicinity. That's the only reason why we made the
You have got
choice.
that good point going for you there. That's
I mean,
true.
it really, it
That's true.
is compared
That's true.
to everywhere else we've looked. And I mean, we're shopping for more homes too, but only for rentals. That's the only reason why we was even wanting to convert this.
And I feel like maybe a difference in what you had just spoke on and us, like we do live here in Bowling Green and very much are not outsiders just wanting to, take advantage of the situation
Sure.
and stuff. And so, and we have a stake in the community and we do very much want to keep Bowling Green a very nice town like it is. And we do own businesses in town as well, not even very far, up the road there. So we do have investment, we are invested in the area and we do care about, the things that go on and things like that. So I feel like maybe that could be an advantage over an outside person, coming
Very
in
good.
wanting to do that. So.
You expressed it very well. Any other questions from the board of the applicants? Thank you all very much. Do we have any opposition to this request? Any opposition from anyone? All righty, a motion, please.
I make the motion to deny the conditional use permit docket number 2025-C-30 for a short-term rental because it's not compatible with single-family residential and it would have a negative effect on workforce housing.
All right. Motion by Ms. Atkinson, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
No?
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request has been denied, sir. You've got 30 days to apply to circuit court for relief on it. Thank you for coming down. Our next request tonight, Kathy Jill Johnson has filed an application requesting a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental on the property located at 11437 Woodburn Allen Springs Road. And this property is zoned RE Residential Estate. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting for the property on the corner of Greenbrier and Woodburn Allen Springs Road on June 3rd of this year. Current zoning of the property is RE Residential Estate, and current land use is single-family residential. And then here are some images of the property for you, and then there's their site plan. They are also requesting a CUP to operate a short-term rental. Article 5, Section 5.1 of the use table for the zoning ordinance reference is there for you in the middle of the page. And then this bottom of page 1 is the specific use standards, and so we'll look over to page 2 for their supplied conditions. Number 1, the applicant has agreed to the following, Number 1, maximum of 2 rooms for rent. Number 2, rooms will not be individually rented. Number 3, a maximum of 2 guest vehicles in the designated parking area. Number 4, quiet hours will be from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Number 5, if the property is ever sold, the CUP will be null and void. Number 6, there will be no signage on the property. And then that should actually be a number 7 instead of a number 5. If the property is ever sold or the applicant ceases the use, the CUP will be null and void. The conditional use permit findings are there on the bottom of page 1, and so we'll look back to, or bottom of page 2, so we'll look back to page 1 with just one point to consider. The board should consider if the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area, including the existing single-family residential uses located adjacent to the property and in the general vicinity. And that's all that I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of the staff from the board? Applicant here? Would you step up, please? We need to swear you in. We need your full name and address, please.
Yes, Kathy Jill Johnson, 11437 Woodburn, Allen Springs Road, Alvaton.
Do you swear to tell the truth, ma'am? So you're living in this property now?
I do not,
Oh. So where do you live?
in Gold City.
Gold City, all right. As you heard the previous applicant, It's single-family residential area. How do you think this is compatible with that area there?
I am on the corner. I'm renting a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, very feasible for travelers out of town to come enjoy the country setting. There is a Airbnb 1 mile from me, and we have a community center that they, about 150 guests attend each month. 2-car parking. It's a wonderful setting.
It's a very nice-looking property. It looks very good.
Much better than renting long-term. For the neighbors, I think that they would damage my property. This way, I can allow by reviews to permit them to come.
All right. All right, any questions from the board of this applicant? Any questions of the board?
Am I understanding that you live permanently here?
I did.
Okay. So where is your permanent address now?
That is it.
Okay. So you live on the property?
It is my home,
Okay.
and I still live and get mail there.
Okay. But you're going to move out when you're, oh, okay,
Yes.
that's, all right.
Yes, with my boyfriend.
We're just trying to,
Yes, figure it out.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yes, trying to figure
Okay, so you will not, if we approve this request, you will not live on this property
That
any
is
longer?
correct. I will be the one that goes and cleans it, and I will be managing it myself.
okay. Any other questions of the applicant from the board?
I do, the board, as far as that, another Airbnb within a mile radius, what direction would that be in?
To the left. Boy's General Store.
Boyce General Store, okay.
Okay.
All right, any other question of the applicant from the board? Comments? Thank you, ma'am. Any opposition to this request? Do we have any opposition? None? Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit docket number 2025-C-31 for a short-term rental with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it is proposed. The use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services. The use will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance, that the use otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance.
Do we have to put in if it's sold, the CUP goes away, or is that part of the conditions? Did you include the conditions with your thing? Okay.
Yes,
So the property sold, the CUP be null and void.
yes.
That condition is already in there.
It's in there, okay, all right. I saw it in there, I just want to make sure you mentioned conditions. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you did, okay. All right.
As condition, yes, I may not have made that clear, as conditions in the staff report.
Very good. All right, second to the motion by Ms. Atkinson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lockwood.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes,
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request has been approved, ma'am. Thank you, good luck to you there. Our next request tonight, Glendale Baptist Church, Inc. has filed an application to amend an existing conditional use permit for religious institution, school, and daycare on the property located at 1807 Cave Mill Road. The property is zoned AG agricultural and F floodplain. That's still zoned agricultural there.
Yep.
All
Old
right.
school.
Go right ahead.
The pre-application meeting for the property here on Cave Mill Road was back in May, and they are requesting, as you said, to amend their current CUP for the existing religious institution, school, and daycare on the property in order to expand the campus to include a pavilion and playground area. And so there is a note there to see the staff review summary, so we actually will flip over to page 3 just to go over a couple of things. The applicants were approved in 2021 for CUPs to allow an existing religious institution, school, and preschool to remain on the property as the school and religious institution were legal non-conforming uses, and the daycare had a special exemption permit obtained in 1993. The church proposed in 2021 to increase the parking area and were required to come into compliance with the current standards of the zoning ordinance. If the proposed CUP is approved, the development will operate as generally depicted on the attached site plan. And so we will flip over to that for you real quick. Maybe. Sorry. There's some images. And then we can flip this if you all need to. It's also referenced, much easier to flip in paper form on page 8 of your staff report. So looking down to the zoning ordinance reference, the provision of the zoning ordinance from which the CUP is requested, there's a few. Article 5, Section 5.1 of the use table, a conditional use permit is required to operate a religious institution on property zoned ag. There we go. Article 5, Section 5.1 of the use table, a conditional use permit is required to operate a school on property zoned ag. And then Article 5, Section 5.1 of the use table, a conditional use permit is also required to operate a daycare on property zoned agriculture. And so we'll look over to page 2 with their supplied conditions, about midway down the page. Number 1, any future development of the property meeting the threshold for a site development plan application must be reviewed and approved by the CDR committee prior to issuance of a building or site work permit. Number 2, access to the property shall be coordinated with the Bowling Green Public Works Department. Number 3, maximum area of buildings on property is 36,000 square feet. Number 4, hours of operation for the school and preschool uses shall be Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., with exceptions for extracurricular activities and some periodic special events, as an example, a fall festival. Number 5, maximum capacity is 300 students for the school and 50 students for the preschool. And number 6, mature trees on the property line within the required landscape buffer area will be preserved to the greatest extent feasible. The applicant reserves the option to substitute a solid fence for a portion of the required landscape material as specified in the zoning ordinance. And so these conditions remain unchanged from the 2021 application.
Right.
So looking back to page 1, there are no points to consider pending public hearing testimony, and that is all that I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the staff or the board? Somebody representing the church here? That's fine. Excuse me. Any opposition to this request? Any opposition? Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit docket number 2025-C-32 for a religious institution, a school, and a preschool with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The testimony presented in the public hearing has shown that the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it is proposed. The use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services. The use will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance. That the use otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance, and we do include the conditions as specified in the staff report.
Proper motion.
Motion by Ms. Atkinson, second. Who's second? I'm sorry. Who?
Jim.
Oh, Jim. Mr. Lockwood.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes. Your request has been approved, sir. Thank you for coming down. Appreciate it. Excuse me. Our next request tonight, Raspberry Ridge LLC, care of Luke Bennett, has filed an application requesting a conditional use permit to operate a campground on property located on Slim Allen Road, approximately 884 feet north of Eversole Drive. And the property is zoned AG agricultural. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting in January for the property that you mentioned, and that is highlighted in red. The current zoning is agriculture, current land use is agriculture, and then we have a few photos. And then here is the supplied site plan. And again, the applicants are requesting a conditional use permit for recreation and entertainment, more specifically to operate a campground on the property, which will consist of a maximum of 7 cabins. Below that is a zoning ordinance reference. Article 5, Section 5.1 use table, a conditional use permit is required to operate a campground on property zoned agriculture. Below that, on the bottom of the page, is the specific use standards for campground for your reference. Looking at page 2 to the supplied conditions. Number 1, there shall be a maximum of 7 cabins for rent. Number 2, there shall be a maximum of 4 people per cabin. Number 3, quiet hours will be between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. Number 4, a do not disturb buffer will be established within 50 feet of the development's perimeter property lines for the purposes of maintaining mature, healthy trees. Dead or dying vegetation may be trimmed and/or removed. Number 5, signage, which excludes wall signs, shall be limited to 1 freestanding sign, which shall be monument style, located along Slim Island Road, and shall not exceed 5 feet in height and 32 feet in sign face. Number 6, on-site septic system shall be coordinated and approved by the Barren River Health Department. Number 7, access will be coordinated and approved by the Warren County Public Works Department. Below that are the conditional use permit findings for reference. And if we look back at page 1 to points to consider. The board should consider if the proposed use is appropriate in the ag zone. The board should consider if the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area and the existing uses adjacent to and near the property, and if it will alter the character of the area. And the board should consider if a campground will result in increased traffic congestion or constitute a nuisance in the area. That's all we have for a staff report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of the staff from the board? All righty. Applicant here, would you step up?
Good evening, Chair Davenport.
Your name's not Luke Bennett, is it?
Chris Davenport.
All
Nice
right,
to see you. I
Chris.
swear
Go
to
right
tell
ahead.
the truth that my
I know
office
you do.
is
Go
at
right ahead.
921 College Street.
All right. Just a couple of questions you might, where's the entrance going to be? I can't tell by the.
So on this concept, it's right here.
Is that off of Slim Island Road? Okay.
Yes, it's Slim Island Road. It's about a quarter mile from Kentucky 185.
Okay, all right.
So when you turn left on Slim Island Road, it'll be on your left, about a quarter mile from Kentucky 185.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm just curious.
Just a few points, and thank you, Amy, for the presentation. The first things I want to kind of highlight here, this is a campground request. This is on 32.5 acres. It is, and I always go the wrong direction. See, I went the wrong direction. It is heavily wooded. And I know this board has a habit, very good habit, of visiting these properties before these hearings. So if you drove out there, you would have seen that. And one of the specific use standards that we have in our ordinance that we've got to comply with is a 50-foot setback. Well, we've done way better than that. Before I get into this, I'm sorry. Luke Bennett's the principal of Raspberry Ridge. He just built a house in Old Stone, so he's a local guy. He's here with me tonight. Now, as I was saying, the specific use standard says 50-foot setback. We've agreed to a 50-foot do not disturb buffer, which means those trees within 50 feet of Slim Island Road and Eversole Road on the other side will not be disturbed. To give an idea of the scale for that, that buffer is depicted by that hashed line. I'm not real good with math, no attorneys are, but if that's 50 feet, I'm guessing those cabins are 150 feet from that roadway. And the reason I want to point that out, there are, campgrounds is a conditional use in ag. Not all ag property is the same. A lot of ag property has no trees on it. This is heavily, heavily buffered. And that's the point I want to make out of the gate. The second thing I'll point out is that the staff says one of our conditions is obviously we have to comply with the health department and get septic system. That's already approved. We provided staff that documentation from the health department this week. Mr. Bennett did. I think that's a question this board would probably have. I didn't plan on arguing this, Mr. Ferguson, but you made a really good point this afternoon that I've never thought of. And that's when you stand here and you're talking about whether it's a campground or a short-term rental, not a hotel, but I've never really thought about the fact that when we convert existing properties to short-term rentals, we deplete the inventory of existing rentals.
That's right.
I've never thought of that. This is an alternative to that. And I'd be remiss if I didn't point that out. If we can find appropriate properties for this type of development, we don't deplete that inventory, but we provide a rental situation for folks visiting our city without depleting that inventory. So really, those two things, that, given the nature of this property, I think really go hand in hand. So I want to point that out. Next thing I want to point out is in the very middle of this is a cell phone tower. I mean, I can't read it, but that's what it says, okay? And what that should tell you all is the nature of this property is it's very wooded and it has a lot of topography changes, just like Jackson Orchard does about a mile down the road. I looked on the topo map that Warren County has. When you start on Jackson Orchard's driveway and you get to Jackson's Orchard, you will have climbed 230 feet in elevation. That's pretty significant. I'm not sure what this property does, but it's also significant. And the reason I point that out is I think it makes a very good use of the property that's encumbered currently with that cell phone tower at the top of it. My client tells me that he got the inspiration for this from a place called Blackberry Mountain, which is close to Knoxville. I looked that up on the internet, and it's pretty trendy. I think my daughter would call it bougie. They're kind of imitation tree homes, and that's what he has in mind here, to take advantage of the topography, to get the idea that when you're in these homes, that you're kind of in the trees. A lot of glass. He tells me that the siding he anticipates using is the same siding he's put on his home he just moved into, just built a node stone. So it's very modern architecture, very trendy. If you look at the findings that I'll ask you all to make, that the staff prepares for you all, I just kind of want to point out why I think we hit every one of these. Obviously, we've complied with every specific use standard. Every one of those conditions complies with that. The staff suggested those, we did them verbatim. I told Amy there's no reason to monkey with it. We'll agree to exactly what you all propose. As for overburdening the municipal services, we had a CDR meeting. The electric's sufficient, the water's sufficient. Mr. Bennett tells you there's a large water line on his property right now, so I'm not surprised to hear that. And I'll tell you the traffic, the roadway is sufficient. Slim Island Road has a 50-foot right-of-way. I think it's a 20-foot or 18-foot wide pavement. And most importantly, a mile down the road is Jackson's Orchard. I've been there in September on Saturdays with my family. I know the traffic that Slim Island Road has right now. If anyone suggests that 7 cabins is going to significantly change the traffic congestion on Slim Island Road, I would find that hard to believe.
That's significant. Now, the campsite will be limited to the 7 cabins,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? It's not an RV park, it's not
Yes, ma'am.
No motor coaches?
7 cabins and no more than 4 occupants per cabin. And-
Tent camping?
I'm sorry?
Allow tent camping?
He does not envision that because the property really, it's not really designed for that, okay? The other thing along your lines, Ms. Atkinson, is, you know, one of your standards talks about substantial increase in the density. And that's why, again, I want to point out 32 acres. As a matter of right in ag property, you can cut off 5-acre lots without even asking for rezoning or permission. So I don't think 7 cabins versus 6 single-family homes with no limitations of occupants, I don't see that as being a burden at all or increasing the population density. So again, I think you look at traffic congestion, parking problems. I mean, obviously we're parking on 32 acres. Increase in population density, I've addressed that. Environmental problems or nuisances. Now, you know, a nuisance is a little bit like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. But I'll again refer you to that 50-foot do not disturb, can't cut the trees down buffer, along with the quiet hours that we agreed to. I don't want to belabor those points, but yes, sir. Did you have a question?
I have one question
Yes,
for
sir.
you. What about the sewer control on this property?
It'd be septic. You asked about sewer?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be septic. Sewer's not available, and as I mentioned,
Each individual cabin?
well, whatever system he's proposed, the health department's already approved.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly.
That answers my question.
Yeah,
Thank
they've
you.
already approved it. All the testing's been done and all that's approved. So I would strongly encourage you all to vote yes on this. I think the property is right. I think the use is right. And to Mr. Ferguson's point, I think we killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Well, I've known this property all my life. As a teenager, which that's been a few years ago, our family had a farm not too far out there, and we drove by that every day. And it was no man's land. It was a rocky hill. And I'm glad to see somebody take initiative to develop and beautifully view Bowling Green from there.
He's got a very, very interesting concept.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's, Bowling Green's growing.
Any other questions from the board of the attorney here? Thank you very
Thank
much,
y'all.
sir. Appreciate it. Any opposition to this request? Yes, sir. We need to swear you in, get your full name and address, please.
Lloyd Tonks, 341 Slim Island Road.
And you swear to tell the truth, sir?
I do.
All right, go right ahead.
A couple of queries, please. I don't know how the system works. First of all, just to clarify, this gentleman has said they're not going to do anything for 50 foot. I don't know. I have walked that property extensively since this came to my attention. Okay? The reason they've said 50 foot is because there's a 4 or 5 foot sandstone outcrop all the way across there. They can't do anything with it. So giving you 50 foot is, you know what I mean? He's giving away nothing. They're not helping us do anything. Secondly, it doesn't make sense to me. Please bear with me. These guys are going to throw 400, 500,000 buying the properties, building the roads, to put in 7 cabins that are going to generate 10 grand a year. That's not viable. I would like to know, full disclosure, what are their plans later? They're talking about, there's nothing going on at the moment, there's no campground. But if they want to put in a campground, the only place they can put in tents where there's flat ground is right in the bottom of the right-hand corner, right next to Fred's house and my house. That's the only flat ground there. So if they want to make money on this, they're going to have to put something else in. Okay?
That's not our concern, whether he makes money or not. Sorry, but
Yeah, I'd like to say, I'm sorry, I don't know
under our
how it works.
guidelines.
I'm
Yeah.
from a different
That's all
country, okay? So, and they're talking about noise. Who's going to police that noise if there's nobody on site? It's not, I can't phone Warren County because the police are it's not their jurisdiction. So we've got no control over that.
Okay.
My one express point, those photographs you saw of that beautiful road, the guy took the one picture from probably my front garden, which is great. We've just bought that property. We're retiring there. We've been in that house for 6 weeks. I don't want to open up my windows and see a big sign saying, welcome to this place. So what I ask, if this will go ahead, I'm pretty sure it's going to go ahead, please let them put their sign between the houses where there's a lot of brush so that it says, welcome to Blackberry Orchard or whatever it is, 50 yards ahead, as opposed to the entrance is right there and I've got to look at a big sign across the road every day. That's one of my concerns. And the rest, I don't know. I just don't believe we're getting full disclosure at the moment. There's nothing I can do about it. I know that. But when they come to ask for an extension, which they will, to put in more campgrounds, that is the only place it's going to go. That is the only place they can use. And then there's going to be a hell of a lot of opposition. And I don't know where it's going to go from there. But if it's denied, these guys are going to lose a lot of money. So that's pretty much all I've got to say. Thank you for listening to me.
Very much. Thank you very much. Thanks for your
didn't
comments.
waste your
sir.
time.
We appreciate it. We'll let them respond to that. Is there any other opposition to this request? Any other opposition? Would you like to respond to it? We're going to let him address your concerns, sir.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I didn't, obviously, I highlighted the 50-foot buffer, not so much because I'm trying to get a favor for giving up something. It's because that serves as the buffer. That is the visual and the audio That buffers these other properties from the campground, and I think that's what's so important about it. As for the sign, we're limited to a 5-foot high sign. It can, and the specific use standards for ag signs are extremely stringent, so the sign is minimal anyway, wherever it goes. I'm not exactly sure where the gentleman lives or where he's talking about, but the sign would be very minimal. pursuant to our restrictions.
Will the sign be like on 185 or be on?
I anticipate
Kinda like where
it'll be by the
Jackson's-
driveway, because if you look at this concept, you won't know where those cabins are unless there is a sign.
Okay.
I mean, imagine you've got 50 foot of forest along the whole extension of that driveway. So you would not even be able to see the cabins. You wouldn't know where the driveway was you were turning.
Okay. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board?
The only point I would make, Mike, is that for the neighbors' benefit, yes, any other plans short of 7 cabins would have to
Come back here.
come before the board again. It's not an option independently
Right.
for that to be done.
Did you make comments, sir? We need to get your, swear you in, full name and address.
My name is Ben Runner. I'm at 193 Eversole Drive.
You swear to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
And I've lived there for 64 years.
Good.
Okay. And I came up here really not really knowing what was going on. I mean, I had an idea, but I didn't prepare like I would have if I knew I was going to come up here and talk to you all. The problems with this property, and I don't know, the person who's doing this didn't come around and talk to the neighbors. He didn't come around and talk to us. He didn't say anything. We don't know him. He came to our neighborhood and decided to put something in. And it may have been a little different. My feelings may have been different if he come by and said, hey, I'd like to do this, and here's what I want to do, and, I'd like to know your ideas and stuff. But it didn't happen. His lawyer came up here. He didn't even go up and talk. I don't know the man. I still don't. I haven't looked back there to see him. But there's so many things that have been said today, and I wish I'd written them down, but like I said, I didn't plan on getting up here. First off, it's all rock. How are they going to put a septic field? I know there's a mystical health department plan, but we don't see it. Why don't we see it? Why isn't it up here? The mystical health department plan is going to be followed. We know, living up there, that you cannot put a good septic field in that rocky area without a lot of blasting. Now, what's that blasting going to do to our houses? Another thing, that 50-foot offset of Summon Road, how far is it actually going to be from our houses on Eversole? That's something that hasn't been, there's a lot of stuff like this that just, if I had only thought it out, I could have composed myself better, and we could have had more people here that would talk about it. I'm concerned. I didn't have that problem. It's not a cell phone tower up there.
That's the reason they put up those signs 30
Yeah,
days
I
in
know.
advance with a phone number on there, so you
I
can.
even went down there and talked to him.
Yeah.
They said, well, there's a lot of stuff that wasn't finished yet about it, and now we're just hearing some of this stuff now. Slim Island Road really doesn't affect me that much, but I'm concerned about noise. I know they're talking about a quiet time. I'm concerned about 4 times 7 of temporary housing or rental units, just like was denied here just a few minutes ago for one family rental unit. It's just a lot of stuff like that that I'm concerned. The big fat water line going up the hill.
On this map that you see here, can you give us an idea of where your property is located?
Okay, that would help.
Actually,
I'm
you
at
might.
193 Eversole.
No.
No what? I can't tell where mine is.
Eversole's on there.
This will be behind my house and up on the hill.
Here's the area B, does that help?
Yeah.
Right here. Can you
Well,
all
right,
see the
right
hand on the
down
screen?
here. They're not actually, it's right down below that.
Down below.
Which may not have that much effect to me. It will affect the community. It will affect our area there. in our neighborhood, and if somebody says that adding more traffic to Slim Island Road is a good thing, they don't live out there. I'll tell you that right now.
I understand that.
That's about all I can say. I mean, I don't know. I didn't come up here opposed to it, but after I heard his lawyer say a lot of this stuff that I know is not quite, I mean, he's trying to make it sound better than it is.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other opposition? Yes, ma'am. Have to swear you in. Come on.
I would just like to point out that
Your full name and address,
Darrell Tongs, 341 Slim Island Road.
and you swear to tell the truth, ma'am?
I swear to
All right,
tell
go
the
ahead.
truth. Okay, as my husband said, we've been there 6 weeks. It's our forever home that we've retired to. I have COPD. I'm concerned about the construction vehicles that are going to inevitably come to service or build that road and the cabins if they are going up that, where you put the sign, because that is right on our property, well, near our property.
Is your property the one that's got the sign that says, "Do not turn here"?
No.
That's not- So where's yours in conjunction to that piece of property?
The yellow sign that...
Are you
that-
close to the motorcycle shop?
Yes, we're next door to the motorcycle
Next door to the
shop,
motorcycle
yes.
shop. So you're
Yes.
down the road a little ways from where this
Yes.
entrance is going to be.
Well,
What did you just say?
that's where they propose to put the road.
Okay. Right across the motorcycle shop, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a business there real close to you already, isn't there? A motorcycle shop.
It's as far as I'm aware, it does not operate anymore. The man who owns it actually sold us our house, and he's got very bad knees. So he stopped operating, as far as I know.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, anybody else? Come on up, sir. Your full name and
My
address?
name's Bruce Canarney, 321 Eversole Drive.
And you swear to tell the truth, sir?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, and your concern?
My concern is me and Stephen being, we all live on the same street on Eversole. We have a quiet area that we were all retiring this year, and we want to look at our backyard into the woods and it be quiet. We don't want people in cabins or anything. We just want to be quiet. We're old. We want to just have peace. That's it. Bringing in cabins and God knows who's going to come to them is a concern to me and my family. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Now we'll let you address these final issues. Counselor?
Yeah, I'll be very brief. As Ms. Atkinson pointed out, we are bound by our conditions. And I appreciate folks come here, they don't always know that, you know, but we're bound by that. We can't just do something different without getting permission if they ever wanted to do that. We're bound by these. Secondly, one of the gentlemen asked about what happens with the quiet hours. Who enforces that? We have a county code enforcement board that enforces that. They take complaints. It wasn't that long ago I litigated a lawsuit with someone here in town over noise. Some of y'all may remember that. So there is a board that enforces that. I might have a dubious profession. That doesn't mean everything I say is untrue. And I think what I've told you all, what I've suggested to you, is pretty well laid out in the staff report. I don't think I've stretched anything before you. So I think if you look at your ordinance that you're bound to go by, you look at the standards, we've made every specific use standard, I think this is a proper application. I would ask for your approval.
Just for clarification, Eversole Drive, the entrance is on Slim Island Road.
That was the last, I couldn't figure out what my last note was. To the folks on Eversole Drive that's talking about this, Eversole Drive is right down in here. Okay? The cabins are proposed up in here. I mean, as far as Eversole Drive, these cabins were proposed about as far away from Eversole as you can get on the other side of the top of the property. You'd have to go over the cell phone tower and come back down to get where they're proposed. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from the board? All righty. Yes, sir. I keep asking everybody else, everybody, what, just, you know, need to swear you in too, sir.
I'm Bill Jackson, Jackson's Orchard, 1280 Slim Island Road, Bowling Green,
And
Kentucky.
do you swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Thank you, go ahead.
I think this is a clean business that would work on a piece of land that is not suited for anything else. I question again, water availability. I think it was stated it was adequate. We do not have adequate water in that area. That needs to be addressed, I believe.
Okay. That really comes under some other board's purview, right? That's not one of the conditions. They have to go through all the proper permitting for water, sewage, ingress, egress, that type of thing.
But didn't we say that
The permitting would be, but that is one of the review criterias that, talking about if the proposed use.
It's approved.
That it's not going to overburden municipal services. So that is something you can consider as a part of your review.
But he does have to get approval through the water, through
Correct.
RECC and all those people to do that, yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yes, sir, Mr. Is that all you had? Is that it? Okay, thank you. All right. Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit docket number 2025-C-33 for a campground with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it is proposed. The use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services. The use will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance. That the use otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance and may be a good use for this particular parcel of property.
This proper motion.
Motion by Ms. Atkinson, second by Mr. Lockwood.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request has been approved, sir. Thank you all for coming down. Good luck to you out there. Our next request tonight, East 10th Avenue Holdings LLC, care of Adam Burden, have filed an application requesting a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental on the property located at 637 East 10th Avenue. This property is zoned RM4, multifamily residential. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting in October of '24 for this property that you mentioned and is highlighted in red. The current zoning is RM4. The current land use is multifamily residential. And then we have a couple of photos for you. And then they are proposing a shared parking agreement. So we included the parking area in the building that they will have reached that agreement with.
Isn't that a little unusual to do that?
We
I
had
can't
one a couple years ago that was on East 14th that had a parking agreement, a shared parking agreement with another location just a couple blocks over. They didn't have adequate parking. So we've had a few, but it doesn't happen often.
Okay.
And then here is the site plan for your reference. We'll leave up. And again, the applicants are requesting a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental. Middle of the page is a zoning ordinance reference, Article 5, Section 5.1, Use Table. A conditional use permit is required to operate a short-term rental on property zoned RM4, which is a multifamily residential zoning district. Below that are the specific use standards for short-term rentals. Looking over at page 2 for the supplied conditions. Number 1, a maximum of 6 rooms for rent. Number 2, rooms will not be individually rented. Number 3, a maximum of 4 guest vehicles in the designated parking area on the property, and 2 parking spaces are available at 948 East 10th Avenue via shared parking agreement, and that agreement is in your packets for reference. Number 4, quiet hours will be from 11 PM to 7 AM. Number 5, there will be no signage on the property. And number 6, if the property is ever sold or the applicant ceases the use, the CUP will be null and void. And then if this application is approved, staff also suggests that the board impose the following condition. The applicant shall record the shared parking agreement with the Warren County Clerk's Office for the 2 parking spaces before short-term rental license will be issued. Below that are the conditional use permit findings for your reference. And looking back at page 1 to points to consider, there are none pending public hearing and testimony. That's all we have for a staff report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of the staff and the board? Applicant here? Would you come up, sir? Might have a question for you. Need to swear you in?
She's much better talking than me. Adam Burden, 731 East 10th Avenue. Swear to tell the truth.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Lindsay Houchin, 731 East 10th Avenue. I swear to tell the truth.
All right, thank you very much. The property, I'm trying to use the proper word without being nasty. It looks awful. What are you going to do to it? You kind of leave like it is.
While I find it beautiful right now, believe it or not, I have really exciting ideas and visions for this. So historic preservation is really near and dear to my heart. We have brought a late 1800s house just up the street back to life. It's the black one with copper gutters. If you saw it when you were driving by, I'm also on the CPCC Historic Preservation Review Board. So this means a lot to me, and we're committed to keeping the bones and beautifying them. So we see, for example, it's still going to keep the same shape. The walls will still be the same. The footprint is the same. Opening up the front porches to be historically accurate because those were closed after the original build. We've been working with an architect, Lee Ross Dinwiddie at Graph Studios, to collaborate on this as well. So as far as the interior goes, it is designed to be a parent-child short-term rental, which is a phrase that I didn't discover until I started trying to explain what I wanted to do with it. And that means that you could rent the entire property as one large group, let's say for a wedding, or you have people coming in town for a memorial or a funeral, and their family wants to gather together. Alternatively, you can rent just one half of it, essentially. So there will be a full kitchen downstairs, kitchenette upstairs, as an example. So it could be either partially rented or fully rented. A couple of things I do want to point out, it's right next door to another short-term rental. So when you're looking at it from the street, the building to the left is the short-term rental. We've been in conversation with that owner as well. We live on the street, so we're really invested in the street, and because it's a busy thoroughfare already, we're not too concerned about the disturbance of any traffic. If anything, it's bringing extra commerce to that entertainment district that we've got downtown that we love to walk to.
Sure. Did we approve the short-term rental next door to this property?
It's done commercial.
I'm sorry? Oh, it's on commercial. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't remember doing that, but that's fine. All righty, very nice. Any questions from the board of this applicant?
I have a concern I will express about having 6 rooms available, which you have suggested, and it certainly makes a difference about the location of this property, that you may have a lot of people there at one time. And again, it might be a funeral, it might be some type of event, but the idea that there are 4 vehicles, 6 vehicles in total on a street, that basically there's 1 parking place in front of the property and 2 parking spaces allowed across the street. I think the numbers are concerning for me personally.
Full name and address?
Jace Caldwell, Van Meter and Slavey, 2519 Ken Mill Boulevard.
You swear to tell the truth, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right. Looks like you want to answer her question.
Yeah, I do.
All
And
right,
the
go
only
ahead.
reason is because I find this surprising myself when I develop lots that are central business, which is what's next door. correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there is no parking requirement for commercial lots zoned central business. So it's kind of the nature of the neighborhood that we are trying to use the street, we're trying to use public parking. And in this situation, I would just point out, I mean, they do have the amount of parking for the bedrooms, and it's not on street, it'd be off street. But that's the only thing I wanted to add.
When you're saying off-street, there's a tiny little driveway. So where's the parking coming?
Ooh. Yeah, you can see them right here in the back. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so people are going to, if people use this, if we approve it, and if they used it, they're going to go to the back and park in the back? And so the entrance is going to be in the back?
There'll be a front and back entrance. But yes, all the parking is in the back. There's space for 3, and then this doesn't show it, but there should be space for 1 that is vertical from coming into the driveway.
Okay. So the driveway won't be blocked then? No, the driveway will be open?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
To the back?
Yeah. Mhm. And then you're going to have an agreement with the Potter Building across the street for at least 2?
That's correct. We manage 4 other Airbnbs currently, and never really run into parking issues, but one of the concerns was with it being downtown that we should acquire extra parking if needed, so that I don't intend to ever use it, but the agreement is that we do have 2 spaces across the street if ever needed.
All right, very good. Okay. Any other questions of the applicant? Any opposition to this request? Any opposition tonight? All righty, a motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit docket number 2025-C-34 for a short-term rental with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The applicants shall record the shared parking agreement with the Warren County Clerk's Office for 2 parking spaces before a short-term rental license will be issued. The testimony presented in the public hearing has shown that the use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which it is proposed. The use will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services. The use will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance. That the use otherwise meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance. And part of the reason I consider this is the request for downtown additional short-term rentals to support events.
There's a proper motion.
Motion by Ms. Atkinson, second by Mr. Lockwood.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, your request's been approved.
And bless you for redoing that property.
You gave one of the better presentations that we've heard.
I'm hired.
The person that can talk.
I think she did all right. All right, our next request tonight, Greg and Jennifer Cannon have filed an application to amend the conditional use permit for an agritourism use on the property located at 9755 Nashville Road. The property is zoned AG agricultural. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-application meeting in June for the property that you mentioned and highlighted in red. Current zoning is agriculture, current land use is agriculture, and we have a couple of property photos for you. This is of the travelway, and this is the parking area. And then here is the concept that was supplied. We'll leave that up. The applicants are requesting to amend their current CUP for an agritourism use, more specifically for an event venue space, FFA functions, photography sessions, weddings, work retreats, holiday events, catered events, growing and selling seasonal vegetables, flowers, Christmas trees, and eggs to include the option, and so they're amending their CUP to include the option for gravel or asphalt for the travelway and the parking areas. So that's the purpose of coming back before you today. And this might look familiar to you as the original application was approved July 11th of 2024, so nearly a year. Below are the zoning ordinance reference, Article 5, Section 5.1, use table. A conditional use permit is required to operate an agritourism use on the property zoned agriculture. Below that are the zoning ordinance reference for agritourism, the standards. Looking over to page 2, the supplied conditions, those conditions remain unchanged from the original application, so they're there for your reference if you would like to look at those. But back to page 1, under the points to consider, the board should consider if the addition of gravel will result in dust, noise, or a general nuisance. That's all we have for staff report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Any questions of the staff from the board? I think we're familiar with this property. Yeah. You're representing the applicant, aren't you? That's fine. I don't think. Do you have any questions of the engineer? Any questions? Any opposition? Motion, please.
I make the motion to approve the conditional use permit docket number 2025-C-36 for agritourism with the conditions as presented in the staff report. The testimony presented in this public hearing has shown that the uses are not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare in the zone in which they are proposed. The uses will not contribute toward an overburdening of municipal services. The uses will not result in increased traffic congestion, additional parking problems, substantial increase in population density, environmental problems, or constitute a nuisance, that the uses otherwise meet the requirements of the zoning ordinance.
There's a proper motion.
Okay. Motion, Ms. Atkinson, second by Mr. Lockwood.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Chair Davenport?
Yes, their request has been approved. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We have an election now for new officers. How do we do this? Somebody want to?
Nominations for chair and vice chair.
And secretary.
Yes.
All right. Danny?
I make a motion to Mike Davenport for chair.
Okay, thank you. Can we do them all three at once? We need to do separate.
Yeah, you can do them all at once.
You want to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ms. Atkinson for vice chair and Lloyd Ferguson for secretary.
Okay. All righty. Second to that motion?
Second.
All righty. Any other nominations? Sorry. Everybody's been nominated. So. Okay, go right ahead. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Mr. Munford?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
I guess so.
Chair Davenport?
You look good on your resume, Lloyd. Yes, thank you. All right, any old business? New business?
Good to know.
All right. I didn't realize how close I got to John. I'm sorry, but all of a sudden I'm like, I'm going to miss him. You know?
No, sure.
Just been 40 years.
I know, it's just,
40 years is a long time. I thought I've been on the board a long time.
real man can cry, I guess.
How long have you been on here, Michael?
Longer than him.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, y'all could never find out, could you? We're adjourned, so this is off the record.